A musician that has an established name is going to do easier on his own, just hiring musicians and carry on that name than you know, put a band together with a star. It's not, you almost, I mean, you're still using all your background, but you're starting a name, you're starting from scratch a band concept and a band name. And also, I think it's not easy to develop a sound. You know, I mean, if you have one solo performer and you rely on that sound, is one thing. But if you have a band and you're relying on a band sound, is a much wider way to go. You know.
Yeah, we're talking about a band, a real band, like, you know, the Beatles, or, you know, people that they stay together for years. I think for young people it's much easier because some of them they still getting money from their parents. And so they don't have to go out and hassle for money in order to pay the rent and everything. So it's easier to put a band together, you know, and rehearse in your garage, you know. But for professional musicians to put a band together is pretty hard because you have that responsibility of being an example for the other musicians, because if they don't respect you, you don't have a band. You're just paying somebody.
Yeah.
And good musicians, they all want to make money too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, if it worked out really well with us because Airto and Flora are, you know, sort of legendary already. You know, so when we started this band, we have a nice base to begin from. You know, to get work and stuff, and so. And
also, you know, a lot of musicians they freelancing a lot, so you got to give up a lot of other gigs and a lot of situations to make a commitment to one group. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They want to keep on doing, you know, living, you know, the way they kind of.
It's much easier to be a sideman than to be a band member.
Oh yeah.
A full band member. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, it's true. I left Brazil because of Flora. We were together already, and she spoke English already at that time, and she was singing jazz, and she wanted to be a jazz singer in America, and she left, and then I found myself missing her a lot, and I was supposed to go like months later. But I ended up leaving Brazil a month after she left. And I went to the United States to pick her up, you know, to say, okay, Flora, I'm here, everything is all right, so now let's go home. But then I stayed, and it has been 24 years now. New York is a very heavy place to be, Manhattan, and especially when you have no money and no warm clothes. You know, coming from Brazil, you know, I was suffering a lot, let me tell you. And not speaking the language, I didn't speak English whatsoever, at all. And so I was communicating, you know, with gestures and things, I mean, the best that I could. But I think by the fact that the time that I arrived in America, United States and Cuba, they were split, you know, they were not talking anymore. So it was a kind of an embargo for everything that was Cuban was some kind of embargo against that. So even the music, the Cuban music, Cuban percussionists, you know, like Chanopozo and, you know, lots of other good, very good players, they couldn't get any work in America because they were Cubans, even though they were living there already. And when I arrived, I had so many different percussion instruments because before I arrived, I think was mostly bongos and congas and maracas. That's, that was mostly it. And tambourine, timbales, like Afro-Cuban, Latin, percussion. But Brazil is such a different place because we were colonized by Portuguese people, not by the Spanish. And also the black people from Angola, from Africa, they were brought from Angola to work in Brazil as slaves. They brought a whole culture from their country, and we have big influence, See? What I'm saying is true. Or maybe it's a lie. Finally, after about 6 or 7 months, I went to New York, and then I was living with Walter Booker, which is a bass player that was playing with Cannonball Adderley at that time. Joe Zawinul was also playing with Cannonball, and George Duke was playing with Cannonball from time to time. And at Walter Booker's house, which I was sleeping on the floor there, with the roaches and the flying roaches, the big ones that make noise and everything. So I was living like that, and then I started meeting all these great musicians, Thelonious Monk, and everybody. And all of a sudden, they start calling me to play with them. And one day, I got a phone call from Miles Davis' manager to record with Miles. So I just got all my percussion, And I went to CBS Studios and I did that recording. And from that time on, I was playing with Miles.
Yes, my voice is so beautiful, I can't stand it. Hello? 1, 2.
A friend of mine was playing with them, a drummer friend of mine, Mike Shapiro, was playing with them, and they were just at that time kind of like breaking up a band that they had had for a while, and they were looking to put together a new one. And I just happened to be out of a gig because I was working with Dionne Warwick playing keyboards. That's what I was doing, and I got fired. Best thing that ever happened to me. And then they were looking to put together a band, and Mike mentioned it to me and to them, and at one point I think I came up and I had a jam session with some Santa Barbara musicians, and they came in and saw me, and you know, they liked me okay, and you know, we got together. It's been almost 6 years.
That's right.
Yeah.